Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com, and today I'd like to share with you an update. This is on the 56 Chevy Bel that we've been performing a ground-up restoration on. In our last video that we shared with you on this 56 sedan, we had the body on the chassis and we did the sound insulation package to the floor, and we were ready to do some wiring. So since the last video, we've dry fitted both of these rear doors on, and you can see how nicely they fit and line up. We've also installed the trunk lid, and we'll go along and show you that in a moment. But most importantly, we've started on the wiring. So we have the sound insulation package in the floor. Once the rest of the wiring is all set, we'll finish the sound insulation package there. We're also going to put sound insulation in the roof and in the doors and all that sort of thing later on. So at this point, what we're doing is we've got this really nice wiring harness that our client supplied. It's by American Auto Wire, and it's made specifically for this car. So it's 55 or 56 Chev passenger car, and it's by AmericanAutoWire.com. So it's a really nice package. Nate, the fellow that's doing the wiring for us here at Last Chance, really likes this system. So basically what it does is it upgrades the fuse panel to the newer fuses, and very similar to some other wiring companies that are out there. So you can see up in here, up in the firewall, we have the new fuse panel. We don't have any of the fuses in yet, but it's going to take the new chip fuses, and you can see we have a lot of nice connections that come as part of the kit. Now you still have to change some of them depending on whether you have a 3 on the tree and that sort of thing, but it's really nice that we've got, like for our high beam, you can see they're all labeled. I think the camera can probably pick that up. So it's very similar to other wiring companies that are out there. There's like Painless and all those other guys where they have color coded and they label the wiring. Same thing as the wiring that we've separated and starting to go through the back of the car, or towards the back. You can see where they're all labeled throughout on every wire and color coded. So it's going to make it a little bit easier to run, but there's still quite a bit to it with all the different wires. You can see it's a fairly simple car, but we've got lots and lots of wires for Nate to play with there. So we're making good progress on the wiring. We've got the fuse panel set in. We have the wires going to the front cluster. We've added a couple of pieces of trim, as you can see. The speaker frame over on the passenger side that says Bel Air, and you can see how nicely the dash is coming together. Doing the two-tone, running the two-tone from the outside of the car, coming through to the inside, and then once we get this the nice chrome and trim on, I think it's really going to set it off quite nicely. So we've been working on the wiring in the front. We've ran the wiring towards the back. As I mentioned in a little bit earlier, you didn't see the trunk on it before, so now we have the trunk lid dry fitted on. I apologize, it's really dusty here. It actually isn't a gray car, it's white. So it's really dirty, so we'll make sure that you can see with the trunk is here. We've been working on tail lights. They're just dry fitting them on. You can see inside the trunk we now have the same matching detail. I think the camera can pick it up. It's probably in a shadow, but it's the same detail under the trunk with the period correct fleck as on the inside. So it's a nice contrast, and what we'll have, or what we'll be doing, is we're going to be adding a kind of like a Continental kit to the back here, where we have a piece that we've already painted, and it's two-tone, the matching yellow and white that will go onto the trunk lid. But for now, we're running we've got it dry fitted on, we're running the wiring, and then we've dry fitted the tail lights. Now, we just have them set in because we've upgraded these tail lights. I think the camera can probably pick it up. This light is now LED, so it looks like it's the factory correct lens, but if you look inside, there's numerous LED bulbs that are on the inside of this lens. And then the same thing with the backup light, which is really neat, because this fits in the original taillight assembly, but it also is LED. So I think that's a really nice feature. And you can see we just have the rubber just kind of set in place. The tail light's not set in, so this looks nasty with it hanging out here and kind of folded over. This is a feature that everybody seems to love. I think it was a 2-year only, where you fold that down and you have your filler for your fuel tank. So that's a really nice feature that everybody seems to like. So basically, making lots of progress on it. We've done the wiring coming through to the trunk. You can see the detail here. The camera can probably pick it up. So where we're coming across and we're joining it all, you can see we have plugs here, but we had to do some work converting the LED to the normal lights. And you can see wherever we've done some work, we have some shrink wrap that we've got in place, and then we have, we'll be putting some loom on it later. So we've got quite a bit of work still to do in the wiring, but you can see how it's coming along quite nicely. The trunk fits the body really well, and that's the beauty of doing a lot of dry fitting when we were doing the body work. And then we have the tail light, and once again, once we have this adjusted and set in properly and this rubber trim put on correctly, it'll be quite a smart look. So it's really coming along nicely. So this is the yellow and white 56 Bel Air. And it's kind of a neat look from here. I think the camera can probably pick it up through the back window. You can see how neat that dash looks right now. If you look over on the passenger side, you know, where you have the nice Bel Air speaker and the little bit of chrome trim to the right, and then followed across past where the stereo is going to be over the other side. That's quite a nice contrast, I think. So kind of a neat vision. The two-tone all flows together. I think it's going to work quite nicely. So just a quick little update. So this is the 56 Chevy Bel Air, and I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.